Lisa here again. I'm at the store today and I'm on another call today with someone you might know. She's a blogger and her beautiful, well, it's a beautiful farm and it's called Peacock Ridge Farm. It's Renae and she's at the foot of the mountains in Oregon. And she has a beautiful property and she's blogging and she talks about cooking and French country decor, and she's an interior decorator as well. And I'm sure she's got lots of interesting things that she can talk about. So let's find out about her. So hi, Renae, how are you today?
Hi, Lisa. I'm great. I am so excited to be here with you and to chat.
Yeah, it's so nice to actually talk to you in person. I've been on a few blogging things with you and I knew of you and I follow you. So it's nice to really make the real connection and find out more about you. And I'm always interested in bloggers and interior decorators, and I have my favorites, and I just want to share some of my favorite people with my people, because they come to my store, they love my stuff, and they're inspired by what's in the store, and they probably would like to know who inspires me. So you are one of them.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that compliment. That's awesome.
Well, you're welcome. So the first thing I want to know is more about you. How did you start? I know you're an interior decorator, and I know you did have a boutique, and then you started blogging. So tell us, how did that all come about?
I was an interior, well, I'm still an interior designer. I did commercial and residential design for over 20 years. And then I did design between Los Angeles, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Oregon. And when my husband and I purchased this farm and decided to move here, I no longer designed in the other two states, and I just wanted to make this my home. And I love design. I love everything about it. I love relationships with people. And one of the best ways to really create relationships and get to know people is by having a boutique, very much like yours.
Yep.
So I had the French Country Boutique here on my farm. I would open up one weekend a month. I didn't do it 7 days a week, so it kept it really exclusive. And so I could do my design business, all month, but on this one weekend a month, I would have just lines and lines of people that would come and shop, and it was just great fun. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed that immensely. I did have new products. I had bedding, I had furniture, antiques. I loved going on the hunt for the antiques because you just never know what you're going to find. And I loved the process. I loved everything about it. Well, when COVID hit, nobody wanted a designer in their home, and nobody was shopping brick and mortar stores. And so I decided that I needed to change up my business then. And I started blogging. And when I started blogging, I really didn't even know what a blog was, but I was intrigued, and I knew that I could create relationships online. I could share my design. I could inspire people. I could do my DIYs and really connect with people that way, being I couldn't in person, for that period of time. So I've been blogging for 2 years now, and I'm really loving it.
Well, yeah, I imagine you would, because the people, you get to talk to so many people and make connections. And the way we met each other was through a blogger's mastermind kind of thing, right? And you always, it's so funny how life works. You always meet the person that you should have met, in some odd place, and it's like, wow, I wish I met you 5 years ago. You're exactly what I need in my life.
And I also wish you were my neighbor, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And blogging can be a really lonely industry because it's usually just you and a computer.
Mhm.
And so what is really beautiful about the women that I meet, mostly women that I meet in the blogging industry, is we are social. We love people. We love each other. We love to talk and we love to share. And so it's been a wonderful experience. And I've met just the most amazing people as
Yeah.
as one of those.
Yeah, and it's so nice when you're in a group of people who are like you and they think like you and they know about the same things, because not everybody loves decorating and decor and not everyone is obsessed with it. So, I can't talk to everybody about it. My next door neighbor is my good friend, but she's not into decor. So it's so nice to be in a group of people where they know all the things that they know the shops that you like and the people who are important in the industry. Do you know Sharon Santoni?
Yes, and I love her. And I saw that you have a podcast with her that I'm going
Yes.
to listen to. But yes, I follow her and I think she's amazing.
Yeah, me too. And she's just so lovely. Like if you watch the interview, she's just such a nice person. And we chatted a little bit before and after the interview, and she's just wonderful. And she's created such a beautiful dream for so many people, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
many women in North America, they just want to move to France and live in a house like that. And,
I
you know,
know.
yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's really created this wonderful world for women who love French country, and she does her trips too, where you can go there and stay, and she takes you shopping and all those things. So that's pretty amazing. And we sell her magazine in the store here.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a one talented lady, and she has created a business that is so her. It's everything that she loves to do, and she's put it in to this beautiful business and magazine
Mhm.
that is just phenomenal. And she's so inspiring. So yeah,
Yeah.
she's a great lady.
Yeah, and she's got a couple books too, and the books are just gorgeous. Are you doing a book or have you done books?
I have done books. I have 6 children's books, and then I have a cookbook, and I may or may not be working on a book.
Oh, me too. Yeah. So yeah, that's another nice thing. Like I love getting the books, right? It's the physical thing. I of course you can flip through on your screen and look through issue at magazines and books and things, but I love having the real book, sitting with a
That's
cup
the
of tea.
same. Yeah.
I have a whole giant library at home, and I have all my Martha Stewart magazines since 1996. I have a whole cabinet full, and just getting those big coffee table books. It's so beautiful. And one that I got recently was Tara Shaw. She's in um, New Orleans, and she's an antiques dealer,
Uh-huh.
and she has the most beautiful house and really elegant stuff. And just Tara Shaw.
Tara Shaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her book just inspired me to want to make a book. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Now, is she a blogger as well?
I don't know if she blogs, but she's got a website. She's on Instagram and a few other places. You'll find her. Hmm.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, how about you moved there? How did you find your house and your farm? And what's the story? Because everyone always has some crazy story about they got it and they almost lost it and stuff like that.
So our story is fun. So my husband and I grew up about 15 minutes from here, and we're high school sweethearts.
Oh,
So we've been together since we were 16 years old.
oh,
And he my husband had a 1940 Packard that was given to him by his dad that he was brought home from the hospital when he was born.
oh.
And he wanted to take me for a drive. I think we were probably still 16 years old. And he took me through for a drive through the country, and we came across this expansive road that had these beautiful 5 and 10 acre estates that overlooked the bluff with a mountain view and gated entries. And as 2 kids, we thought, whoa, this is the most beautiful place in the world. Well, fast forward, after living in 2 other states across the country, we wanted to move back home. Our parents were aging, and we just missed the connection of old friends and our family. And so my father-in-law at the time was a realtor, and he showed us this house. And we couldn't believe that this was the house that we drove by as
Wow.
kids. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my goodness.
and our car, the old car actually broke down out on the highway as well, which is kind of funny.
Oh my
So,
God. Goosebump moment.
yeah. So we pulled up to the gate and we looked at each other, and he said, "I'm in trouble, aren't I?" And I said, yeah, you're in trouble. So my father-in-law takes us to the house, and he brings us in through the garage. And the second that we stepped into the house, which happened to be into the laundry room, I was like, okay, this is my house. And one thing that I loved about it is when I'm looking for a home, I'm not looking for it to be my style. I'm looking at its bones and its potential. And this home, the lady that designed the home, her favorite color was purple.
Oh,
Yeah. And so the flooring was purple, and the walls were purple, and the heat registers were purple, and the cabinets were purple. And there was an awful lot of purple going on in the house, which is one of my least favorite colors, but I could see the potential here. And I knew from that moment of stepping across the threshold that this was going to be my home. So
wow. Awesome.
it's been a joy. And now we love to entertain. So we've built a big barn out in the pasture, and we do weddings and big parties, and it's just been a joy to
That
live
was
here.
so much fun. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah,
yeah.
I've always dreamed of having a barn where I could have parties. Oh,
It's great. It's really fun. One thing that's really nice about it is you don't have to have the big party inside your home.
yes, that's a big thing.
And it's casual, it's rustic elegance. You can create the barn to be anything that you want it to be. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
just been
blank
a
palette,
pleasure.
right? You can
It
add
is a
whatever you
blank
want
palette.
to make them.
Yes,
Wow, that's awesome. So do you think you would ever leave this house?
potentially,
Yeah.
potentially. Living on 10 acres, they're manicured acres. And the home is a large home. The barns, we have several barns. The upkeep is immense. And I don't know that in my later years, if that's how I want to spend my time. I'd rather travel around the world
Yeah.
than mowing pastures, right? And fixing irrigation and that kind of stuff. So I don't know what my future holds, but right now my husband and I are thoroughly enjoying it here. Nothing makes us happier than to have our friends and our families, and especially our grandbabies running around the farm.
Yeah, that's what makes life good.
Yes, yes. And we do have 2 grandbabies that live just down the road. And so
Oh,
that's
that's so nice.
incredible.
Wow. Yeah, that's wonderful when everyone you love is near you, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
It's just a joy to be surrounded by people that you love.
yeah. Oh, how nice. And what
Yeah.
about, I was just gonna ask you about traveling because I know you love French country style. So I want to know, have you traveled to France? And if you
I
have, what are your favorite places?
I have several times. My husband and I, when we turned 50, we decided that we were going to go on a backpacking trip like kids do, out of high school or college. And so we literally had a backpack on our backs and a Eurail pass, and we hit the road and had a grand time. But we did get to spend time in Paris and in Normandy in the south of France. And there's just nothing more beautiful than Provence. It's magical to me. It's an elegance, and it's refined, but it's grounded, right? It's authentic.
It is.
And it's a beautiful place to be.
It is so beautiful. And like, I remember driving with my husband, and like the cows are even beautiful.
Yes.
They have beautiful cows there.
And their weeds are even beautiful, right? Things that are overgrown on my farm or that's messy on my farm just feels messy. But everything on French soil is beautiful,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
It's true.
And I was a few years ago, I was able to take my daughter to France, and we traveled all around. And then we have plans for to take my granddaughter as well. So it would be my granddaughter, my daughter, and myself. So just a girls' trip.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you ever go to Belgium?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to live in Belgium. I lived there for 17 years.
What a lucky girl. I love Bruges.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, isn't it?
So quaint. Everything's magical. You grow up in America, you grow up watching Disney princesses, right? And then you go to places like Bruges and you think, oh my gosh, I am a princess in a fairy tale. I mean, it really is so beautiful.
Yeah, it's stunning. And there's so much history in everything. The city where my husband is from, that's why I lived in Belgium, because my husband is Belgian. The city that we lived in, it used to be with walls around it and 4 gates. And at night they would lock the gates so that the bad people couldn't come in. So now the walls are gone, but they've got the 4 ports that are still there. And there's a road through the port. So if you're going this way, you go through the port, but if you're coming the other way, you go around the port, right? It's only one big enough for one car to go through, and that wall is from about 1400. And if you think, wow, oh my God, and then the church, my son was born in Belgium, and, baptism and all that, but that church is like 600 years old. And around the church is wrought iron gates, right? And it's my husband's great grandfather who made those gates that are on the church. And we go somewhere and he'd say, see that thing on the roof there? That's my grandfather made that. And like all those kind of things. It's so neat. And
we just don't have that kind of history, especially on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. It's so young. It's such a young country.
Yeah. So it's so nice to be in Europe. Like I visited France a lot, because that's like less than 2 hours to drive to be in France. Well, mm-hmm. I'd say an hour and a half and you're in France. We could go to Paris in 2.5 hours. So we used to it was so funny the way our life was. It was Sunday morning. I'd say, let's go to France today. And we could go to France and be home for dinner. Right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So haven't been there for a while now, because it's been 10 years since we're here now in Canada. So maybe, and now I'm tied down because I have the store. I can't leave, right? I'm the one who works here, so I don't really get a vacation. But I'd love to go back and see where we used to live and see how things changed, and, see our old friends and all that stuff. That would be so nice.
Hoping that you get that opportunity soon.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking maybe next summer. And actually, Sharon Santoni is doing one of her whatever those trips, and she's doing it to go see Chenonceau. That's a beautiful castle, and I've been there before, and that's one of the places I love in France. And so when I was talking to her, I said, oh my God, I think I might have to go on that trip with you. So I think it's in August next year. And then if I did go, then of course I could go visit Belgium.
Well, and you could call it work.
Yes.
Well, I've just written that down. I'm going to have to check that out because
check it out. Because when I talked to her the night before, she had just come back from there. Actually, the same day she had just come back because she was going there to check out the hotels and everything for the trip. You know, she have to go and eat there and check the rooms and all that to make sure it's okay for the people who you're inviting. So she had just got back from there. So that was so funny.
Sounds like an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So what else did I want to ask you about? What are some of your favorite decorating books? Do you have favorite decorators or bloggers? Who are your favorites?
Well, that's kind of a hard question.
Yeah.
I actually love finding new people. I'm always on the lookout for somebody new. Obviously, first of all, she's such a smart woman. And she's all about making a house a home and entertaining. And so
you got frozen when you said the name of the person you're talking about. So I heard what you said, but I don't know who it is.
Oh, it's Martha Stewart.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I so admire her, and I do admire that she's created an entire empire around the home.
Yes.
It's not necessarily designers that I find. I mean, Bunny Williams, of course, is such a classic.
Yes.
I mean, everything about her is amazing. So she'd be my number one.
Yeah.
But I'm not a brand name kind of a person, or like a idol worshiper kind of person. But I get so inspired by so many people, right? So many talented women out there inspire me. I mean, Joanna Gaines too. Look at what she's done.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say to you, is that someone asked me a year ago if the two people in the world who I would want to meet because I admire them. And one of them was her, because she's built her own empire. She created a tourist industry to her town and rejuvenated everything. And she's just amazing. And she's got all those kids, and, you know, she does it all, and she still has a happy life and enjoys life, and amazing.
And so that's inspiring, right? Yes. I mean, not that I want an empire, but I love smart women that are going out and they're creating something, right? They're creating a legacy.
Yes.
And that's what I love.
Yeah, me too, because not all the women can do that. A lot of them just get stuck at home or in their 9-to-5 job, and they're busy, and life just goes and goes, and they never think about doing stuff like that. But, you know, you should, if you know.
Absolutely. And, you know, you don't have to dream that big. And I don't think her dream or Martha Stewart's dream started out that big. You know, with Magnolia, they started with a shop.
Yeah, that's what I tell my husband. Little shop like this, and look what it is now, right?
Yeah. And so you just build on that foundation. And again, it's inspiring to me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Okay. One more who you like?
I can't even think of anybody right now. Isn't that crazy?
What about someone who does cookbooks? You like cooking, and
I
cuisine?
love cooking.
Yeah.
I love cooking, and actually, Julia Childs is,
Oh, yes.
I mean, she's such an icon.
Yes.
In fact, I'm cooking one of her recipes this evening for dinner.
Oh,
But I even like Ina Gardner.
yes.
Uh, yeah, I love people that just make good, solid, comforting food, and that understanding that food does much more than nourish your body. It's a love language,
Yeah,
right?
it
It's
is.
it's a love letter to those around you. And that's what I love about entertaining. It's not showing somebody my home and showing them I'm a great cook. It's about loving them,
Yes,
inviting
exactly.
them in, and making them feel like
Yeah,
they belong, right? Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I love about all things home in
Yeah.
food. It's
Yeah.
just how well you can nurture somebody with it.
Yeah. Well, you know what we did? So we're friends with our next door neighbors, and it had been COVID for like 2 years. And
Mm.
so we were over there, and I said, you know what? We haven't worn lipstick in 2 years. We haven't dressed up. We were in our hoodies and sweatpants,
Mhm.
and we couldn't go out. We haven't been to the movies or to the restaurants. So why don't we have a fancy dinner? So, and they have 4 kids, right? So I said, okay, we're going to have a fancy dinner at my house. We're going to dress up. We're going to wear our high heels and lipstick. I'm going to polish the silverware. We're going to do the works. And so
Mhm.
they came, and me and my husband cooked all the food, and it was lovely, and they loved everything. And we those kids were just so happy. Like, they picked out their outfits like months in advance of what they wanted to wear. And it was just such a wonderful thing, especially because we couldn't do it for so long.
But it's the relationship,
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about the high heels and the lipsticks. It's about the relationship
Yes.
and and creating a story together. And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah. And having this feeling, right?
yeah,
This feeling
yeah.
together. And yeah, it was really awesome. So now the parents don't live here. They live in Nova Scotia, and the parents are coming actually tomorrow for a visit. So they've asked me if we could do another fancy dinner with their
Oh,
parents.
so fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
fun.
I'm going to do that. I'm a little bit strapped for time, and I've got really lots of things going on with the store. And uh, there's they're coming to my house to do a photo shoot for Christmas. We're going to take a lot of Christmas stuff from the store, shoot it in the house, and it's going to be in the December one of the magazines. And so I'm thinking I have to do that by the 18th of this month. And so that's pulling out all the Christmas stuff, digging in the garage and all that. And I've got a couple other things that I'm working on, and I have to be at the store every day. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to have time to have a dinner? But every time they come, we invite them over.
Mhm.
We have to. So I was saying that maybe we won't do the 5-course dinner, because that's too much. We'll just have some lovely food together, and we'll dress nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. So we talked about traveling to Europe, to France. What about in America? What are some of your favorite places there, or Canada?
Banff
Oh, yes.
is so lovely.
Yeah.
So um that again, magical place, right? We stayed in a beautiful old hotel. Um, the name of it is just skipping my mind right now, but to walk outside in the snow in the wintertime and having the caribou, walk by,
I know.
right?
Yeah.
And again, the food and the drinks and the people, and it's lovely. So I've been fortunate enough to travel to all 50 states.
Wow.
And I don't ever have one all-time favorite. I have new favorites a lot. And there are places that I love going back to and visiting again. And travel is one of my favorite things. And so my husband and I are dreaming again on
Yeah.
where we get to go now that quarantine is over and we can start really living again. So I'm looking forward to getting out and going on an adventure again soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. And that's easy to do as a blogger because all you need with you is your laptop, you can still
Exactly.
keep everything up to date anywhere you are. So that
Mhm.
really,
And that's what's nice is I can travel to go visit my kids. My son lives in New England. And so as long as I have my computer, I'm mobile and I can go and I work while the babies are asleep and I can keep up.
yeah,
So
it's
um,
the laptop lifestyle.
yes, and blogging, there's a lot of beauty to blogging because you can be mobile.
Mhm.
Um, but with blogging as well, anytime you're around your computer, you can work. So sometimes if I'm not careful with balance, I can work 60 hours a week easily.
Yeah,
And that's not the legacy that I want to leave.
exactly.
So I'm trying to leave my computer in my office, and that after office hours, I shut my door and I leave work. But there is a lot of beauty in blogging for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you can automate a lot of your work, you set it up once and it keeps on rolling and you don't have to do it again, that gives you more freedom. So if you can
Mhm.
just automate things and use the technology to take advantage of it, right?
Yes, I use a lot of templates. I actually use AI a
Yeah,
lot. And I try to be very organized to where every day I have written down what chores I need to do that day.
Mhm.
Because in social media, you can get lost really, really easily.
Oh,
And yeah, and
I go to
so
post on Instagram and I look and I've been there half an hour and I wasn't supposed to look at anything. I was just supposed to put a picture.
right,
So
yeah.
that's what
So
happened.
you have to stay focused, otherwise you can go down a lot of rabbit trails.
Yeah,
But it is
it happened.
and I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me about the retreat that you're doing. I know you're having a bloggers retreat. I think it's next week, and I want to hear about that.
I'm so excited about it. It's bloggers inspiring bloggers, and there will be 5 speakers speaking on blogging, each one their own expertise. And we're inviting new and experienced bloggers into the retreat. The beauty of a smaller retreat is it's very relational. There are conferences and bigger venues for learning the blogging industry, but there's a beauty in a small, intimate environment, so where the speakers can work hands-on with the attendees, so that when the attendees go home, they're going home with a win. To where sometimes when you go to a bloggers conference, you learn so much that you can't possibly pack it in.
Yeah,
And when you go home, you're overwhelmed and it takes you weeks to
exactly.
unpack everything that you've learned. So we want our guests to go home feeling victorious, like they've got new skills under their belt and that they can go home and can
Yeah,
use
and
those.
those connections as well. You become friends. Like
Mhm.
Sharon was saying that she's friends with some of the people who've gone on her trips every year, and there are some of them who do it every single year. And it just you form this relationship that never ends, and that's so nice. That's
Yeah.
what's important. And when it's blogging, it is still a business. So you're making business connections, you're networking, and you can help each other. It's
Yeah.
so nice to help each other. Like I meet so many people all the time, and they can help me and I can help them. And, you have these conversations and like, oh, I know how to do that. And I know how to do that. And that's so
And
nice.
that's what makes the world go round,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's wonderful. So you're doing the retreat in your house or in your barn?
I have an Airbnb in where we're staying, and we will visit the farm. We'll have a tour of the farm. We'll do charcuterie demonstrations. We'll have meals here. They'll have opportunity to learn photography skills. So the farm is a great place to do that, so that the ladies can wander around the farm and take photos as well. So it's a combination of the two places.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that's going to be great. And Carrie Ann Wood is going to be part of it, I think.
Yes, she is. And she's from Thistlewood Farm. And we have Amanda from Home Talk. We have Lynn Vogler from Living Large in a Small House.
Yeah, I
and
know.
Andy Rust from Reinvented Delaware. So we have a great team.
Oh, awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. That sounds exciting.
Thank you.
Maybe one day I'll be there.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story and your life with us. And yeah. Oh, one more last little question I like to ask bloggers is how has blogging affected your family life? Because it's your personal space is now public, right? How do you deal with that?
It can be uncomfortable. Like when people tell my husband, oh, I know what your bedroom looks like. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But my husband respects the fact that this is my business. This is my passion. We do try to keep things very separate, but it doesn't impact your personal life for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you just got to.
I'm always changing holidays. I've already done my New Year's tablescape, my Christmas, and my Thanksgiving. So, it's not unusual at a very odd time of year that I'm decorating for a holiday that's 6 months away. So it does affect everybody in the household for sure.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks again. I really enjoyed having you, and I'm sure we'll be in touch again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure getting to chat.
This was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I really like doing these interviews and getting to know people who I only knew from my computer.
Yes, and this will be a long-term friendship, and it's a pleasure getting to know you better.
You too. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.